We live?
What?
Are we live?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's Memorex. May I offer the warmest of greetings to my partners in crime this morning, as well as to all the fine listeners we have here on Live and Local Real Talk. It's Thursday, better known around these here parts as Friday Eve, and this week we're proud to call it Independence Day Eve as well. Welcome aboard the Deplorable Express, piloted by me. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Chris Marks.
I'm Lee Barrows.
Which one of you is going to be the flight engineer?
I'm going to be Gilligan.
YouTube is live, but it's wacky, so I'm trying to fix it.
Facebook is this is YouTube.
What?
Got that?
I have to go into the back office, and the chat has been disabled for some reason. I'm like, why? And so, got to go in and fix it. And
Was my morning salutation sweet enough for y'all?
Yes, I thought it was very nice.
Very nice. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, it's live on my end.
Without a hint of sarcasm.
No, very
No venom.
cruise ship deplorable. Is that what you said? I already forgot.
What? Are we going back there again?
I just asked real quick.
Are we going back there again?
I called it the Deplorable Express. That's what we are here, right?
Okay.
That's pretty nice.
I don't know. I'm getting. I
didn't
want
have
a
any
new
meanness.
word.
I didn't have any meanness out here either. Did I? Okay.
Not a bit.
Are you happy with my new self?
Yeah, I like
What was wrong with my old self?
both of you.
Then what was wrong with my
I'm
old self?
staying
like
out
both of
every
you.
bit of this.
I like both of you.
Don't
You
get used
like us both.
Don't get used to it, because without a doubt I'll be finding some kind of story out here. There's no way that I can go through this day or any other day without and read the internet and the news stories and listen to everybody in here.
Well, I'm going to start off with
Stories that are
something
inundated
nice.
with lies, stupidity, and arrogance, laced
We
with
gotta
some
go through
healthy
that
doses
first.
of felonious irritation. That's what I end up getting.
Felonious irritation. You have committed a to me. I like that. Felonious irritation.
Yeah.
Well, I want to start off the morning first by
No, we don't want to talk
plugging.
about that.
I want to plug and commend the Onslow County Sheriff's Office
Yay!
for their newest adventure.
Something that I don't know how to use.
Rayford does not like apps,
I
but
didn't say that. I just said I don't know how to use them.
Onslow County Sheriff's Office, as promised, has developed an app that you can download on your smartphone. I have it on mine. Right there's a little emblem there. It's Onslow County Sheriff's Office. You click on
My
it,
phone is dumb.
and it's got all sorts of information: a contact us button, a submit a tip button, which involves Crime Stoppers. It's got jail information. You can look up and do an inmate search and see if they're still in jail.
For some of you guys, you can check and see if you are there or are headed there. Okay.
Yeah, you could do that.
Does it have outstanding warrants listed?
Not that I've delved into, but
Oh, dead
you've
stuff?
got traffic alerts. So if there's a traffic incident somewhere and the traffic is,
Okay.
backed up
It's
or
4
whatever.
minutes after 7 o'clock. Traffic on Highway 24 going east around Camp Lejeune main gate is busy.
Right now, there are no traffic alerts. Okay. School
In
resource
Hempstead,
information,
forget it.
local news releases. They've even got a section for, oh my gosh.
What?
Oh, wow. Here's contact information. You can put your name, email, address, incident information, the deputy employee's name, explain the incident. But I'm going to have to delve into that more. It's got a one where you can click, and it's the social area, and it takes you, it's got buttons that'll take you to their YouTube, their Instagram,
Okay. Gotcha.
and their Facebook page. So all you have to do is go to the Google store, and if you're Apple, I guess it would be the Apple store. I have an Android. So, dismiss. I don't know what I just hit. That'd be coming in the door. And download it. It took me less than a minute to download it. And I threw it on my home screen. So now You can. It's a great app. I love it. And I'm
Well,
gonna tell you what.
it sounds like the Onslow Sheriff's Office, after I finish making jokes, is moving into the 22nd century.
Yes.
We're way ahead of the curve,
Yes.
as we have been doing for quite some time.
Right.
Training, and I saw more stuff this past weekend
Right.
that I had not a clue that they were doing out there at the training facility, the range area.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, but I mean, these guys are doing remarkable things.
It has the sheriff's office has come a
Mhm.
long ways over
Yep.
the last decade, I would say. But this, and I noticed that Jacksonville Police Department, which is a Jacksonville Public Safety Office, has got someone now doing this
Similar type stuff.
similar type
Yeah,
stuff.
the more
So,
information we get
nice.
from them, the sooner we can get it, the less we have like questions, especially when it involves public safety, or when they let us know where there's a wreck here or a wreck there. What?
Right.
Because I'm going to tell you about social media. By the time it gets on social media, and if it's not from an official source like the sheriff's office, the highway patrol, or JPD, then that mess that's on social media, you don't know when it came in. You don't know who posted it. You don't know anything about it. Oh, there's a really bad wreck here. There was a fender bender. Some bicycle ran off the road. And people stopped to help. Those are the kinds of things you get on anti-social media.
Well, let me
Yeah.
see if I
Nothing.
can
It's
find
not real.
one.
It's garbage.
I was going to mention yesterday. Oh no! Somebody throwing a kitten out the window. I'm not reading that one. If I could find the one I saw yesterday, I wanted to read it on the air because I'm just like going, oh gosh.
Okay,
Maybe they took
under
it
the
out.
social part of that thing for you and
Mhm.
some of the others out there, do they have a list of the single deputies out? What? That's the social part, right?
What a nice guy.
I'm trying to help you out.
I'm
lady.
not training any new ones. No, I'm good.
Come on, lady.
I'm good.
Come on, lady.
You don't want any more rookies,
We're
right?
having a sister day today. My
Yeah.
sister and I, we're just going to go out and do her stuff. We're good. I'm good. She's
Right.
good. We're both good. I'm good.
Call me if you need a ride.
And hello early to Elsie and Kathy who are listening.
Yeah.
Kathy's up?
Elsie and Kathy.
Kathy and Stephanie are.
Okay.
But
This is a different
This
Kathy.
is
Another
Kathy
Kathy.
Blaine, yeah.
Yes, this
We
is
got a bunch of
another
Kathys out there, right?
Yeah, my name is Catherine
I know.
also, so
Yeah.
you could call me Kathy.
That's one of
Okay.
your names.
Oh, Lord.
One of your many names,
Okay, yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
probably true.
Ms. Tracy.
Oh,
On this date in 1776, the Second Continental Congress was having some discussions. Should the colonies call it quits and divorce themselves from England? That's what they were talking about. Talking about heated discussions. If you want a heated discussion like we've been having, that's nothing. Can you imagine having to sit in a room with a bunch of other like-minded individuals and some who were
Mhm.
dissidents and having a discussion, should we bail out here the night before? Talk about
Yeah.
a remarkable decision to have to make. Wow. Conversations, no doubt were heated. I can just guarantee you that one. Not everybody in those days wanted to split. They didn't want to leave England. They were scared. Anytime you take such a drastic move, you don't know what they're going to do. Well, we know what they did.
Yeah.
Thank goodness the majority ruled and the Declaration of Independence was ready for a vote. They took the night off. And that came the following day on the 4th of July, what we now call Independence Day. And allowing what became the United States of America and all of the people here to be free of English oppression.
Yeah, I think back to our people back then.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's amazing if you think about what they did, what they accomplished, what it's led to now. And the Senate was, what was it ended up being, Lee? 48 hours of nonstop the stuff that we just,
Yeah,
just
stuff
the other
is a
day.
good
Oh,
description.
we haven't even
24
talked about yesterday yet.
I
We'll
know,
get to it.
but you know, and our forefathers, they did things pretty quick back then.
Well, we have another tropical disturbance. That same thing that's been hanging around Florida.
Oh yeah, I was
Is sort of on
watching
the
this
move.
one.
It is now a
Mhm.
tropical disturbance number 1. They've had like 3 number 1s so
Mhm.
far.
Yeah.
And I know why they call them number 1 with all that rain we've been having. At least it wasn't yellow rain. The system looking at radar right now is kind of moving, advancing towards the northeast. And the rain right now is offshore, except around Cape Hatteras. No, except around Cape Lookout. Sorry, Cape Lookout area. You got some rain there, right around the Cape there and offshore from the Cape. So if you guys think you're going to go offshore fishing, stay close. And I wouldn't go towards Lookout, not right away. We're going to have on again, off again showers. We'll talk about that. Is it the time yet? No, we'll talk about that in just a minute or
Still
so.
working on mine.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, this disturbance out there, it's probably not going to have. It's not going to be a rain out for the weekend for us here.
Yeah.
We should be okay because it is moving. It's kind of like finally on the move. It was just hanging, parked over Florida, over most of Florida, except the very tip of it on the south end, and along the Gulf Coast too. So
Mhm.
I haven't checked the radar along the Gulf Coast there yet, but I do see what the stuff that could impact us. I see it. So we're taking a look at it. We'll keep our eyes open for
Yeah.
you.
Well, my friend in Crackertown said it moved out.
Yeah, it's off the Gulf Coast. It's not there anymore. It's off. It's a matter of fact, it's right parallel with.
I want this person to call.
Oh, Lord of mercy, from the northern part of Florida all through Cape Hatteras area, and
Yeah.
it's just hanging right there, as you can see on the screen over there. And that's where the X is, and the little showers and stuff. So we'll wait and
Yeah.
see. Further development has increased again. It's possibility of developing into something over the next 7 days, 50%, 10% over the next 48 hours. Hopefully, in 48 to 96 hours, it will have moved on, done nothing, leave us alone.
Yeah.
Wait,
I'm not ready to call it anything but what it is. Rainmaker.
yeah, it's a minor rain event. We did have plenty of it yesterday.
Yeah, we
We
did.
had
A lot of
some-
lightning yesterday. Out here with
Yes.
boom, boom, boom.
We had some downbursts yesterday, didn't we? Boy, it soaked that garden good.
Poor little baby dog.
And
sitting, says,
Knowing that
she didn't like it.
knowing that it was supposed to rain yesterday,
Oh, wow.
I was able to get down my mole repellent, which smells like garlic. The whole yard smelled like garlic.
Oh, no vampires either.
Mamma mia.
And Mamma mia,
Get
throw
some
some
spaghetti
spaghetti
sauce.
noodles out there, right? And I did finish repairing the rest of my fence.
Good. So you're fenced in now.
Yes. So all that was damaged by the trees.
No.
So
Are your fences to keep people out or critters out, or to keep you and your critters in?
it's to keep my critters in.
Mhm.
I keep them safe.
Yeah.
And keep them from being able to get out of the yard and roam.
Do you have a lock on that gate?
Yes, I do.
Oh, good.
I have.
You didn't give them the key?
No, when I put up my wood fence, my privacy fence, I did not take down my chain link. I put the wood in front of the chain link. So if I have a section that gets damaged, I still have my chain link behind it.
So you've got about 6 inches of a sally port, right?
I have trenches behind that are full of alligators.
Oh,
Okay.
you and Donald.
She's got barbed wire around
Yeah,
the
barbed
metal
wire.
fence.
Now, mine
what
is-
was awful is I did that one time.
Barbed wire?
Yeah,
Or the alligators.
I had a wooden fence around
Right.
a big part of the yard, and I caught the guy in the backyard. All right, he was a peeping tom, and this is in Wilmington, and he couldn't get out. He could get out that way, so that's the way he ran. But as he was leaving, there was about a 2.5, 3 foot long piece of wood that went right by his head. Fell from a tree, of
Ouch.
course.
Yeah.
But after that, I put the fence up, and then I put on the inside of the fence where you reach over to climb it, I put
Mhm.
barbed wire.
You can
So
watch
if
that.
you go to climbing over that fence, you don't see it until it's too late.
Well, anybody who wants to get in my backyard, they can get in there. You know, people
Yeah,
are
of
going to
course they
find a
can.
way. Mine is mainly to keep my dog safe. The reason why I put up the wood fence is because a couple years ago, my neighbor had a German Shepherd that loved to terrorize me. Great dog, but it was just his game to terrorize me. And I was in my backyard one day and had one of my little dogs out there with me, and the shepherd jumped the fence, flew by me, and went to go get my little dog, which
Oh,
he
my.
stood up to that big shepherd.
Did
Then he
he?
ran in the house. But, so
Bark, bark.
I
Oh, no,
just-
I'm coming.
and dogs are going to be dogs. But that's why I put up the fence.
You're
Man.
talking about your dates now?
And dogs.
All of them.
Yes, all of them. Not really.
It is Thursday. If you guys want to chat, you feel
Yeah.
free to do so.
910-333-0139.
Happy to leave the left lanes of the highways to other people. We're going to be traveling down the right side of the road, but
Yes.
we're here, and we like to hear you. It is you can talk all you like. We let you do that, as long as you don't get too far off base, like personal. All we do is we kind of guide this machine. We kind of bait you from time to time. We'll try to help you if need be to get through whatever it is, over the bridges, through the tunnels, and to Grandma's house. We go through the woods, right?
Yep.
And try to
Absolutely.
get rid of, dodge the wolves. We, just like you, have opinions. Might not agree with you. We don't agree with ourselves on here sometimes, quite often, in fact. That's expected, but we're not going to be vicious with each other. And we don't expect you to be vicious with us, because we're not going to be vicious with you. The one thing about opinions are, I've got mine, you've got yours, and you, in 99.99% of the cases, will never change my opinions. That's my DNA. It's in there. It says opinion not changeable. I'm not going to try to change yours. I just give you mine. You give me yours. Okay. And don't get mad because I got an opinion that's different from yours. I'm not going to get mad because you don't like Donald Trump or you do like Bill Clinton. That's up to you. Everybody's got their own opinion. I got people in my extended family. They've got all opinions. Good God, we'd never get consensus. Never.
No.
With that dude in the mirror in the mornings, I have issues. We have a fight quite often.
And you always win.
No. Sometimes
you have to.
Sometimes the mirror breaks.
Oh.
If you were enjoying the conversation, the number is, Chris just gave it, 910-333-0139. 910-333-0139. We have some special guests today.
Oh, that was quick. Yes, we do. That is Kathy Stephanie, aka Stephanie.
Okay, this is Kathy or Stephanie. Come on, leave.
The Rock Lady.
Oh, the Rock of Gibraltar. Good morning, Kathy. How are you?
Good morning. Kathy says good morning. Stephanie, she's like, like raining out.
Whatever.
Rock.
Yeah, whatever. Well, I got your rock. I got it right here on my computer. That is really cool. Thank you.
Yes.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome. It's a happy 4th of July for you.
It is.
Very nice. Very
Yeah.
thoughtful.
Yeah, they used to call them pet rocks.
Yes.
Yeah, so I remember
yeah.
that.
You remember the days of those, huh?
That and weather
yeah,
rocks.
I do them with seashells too, also. I find it, those turn out really nice, also. But I want to put a question out there to the audience.
Sure.
Okay.
What do they do to control moles? Because if I step in one more mole hill, I'm
Okay.
going to rock.
So
We have an expert.
Okay,
Kathy,
well,
I have become the mole expert. And
Dynamite? Is that
I can tell you exactly
That's
what you
my
need to
choice.
do.
mine too.
And it is working. And I can call you later and explain to you what to do.
Some of it's not legal.
No, it's I put the dynamite away, but actually it's working. I'm getting rid of my moles. And it's just like I was
Okay.
telling the gentleman this morning, my whole backyard smells like garlic right now. But and I've pumped about almost $300 into all this, getting rid of the moles. But yeah, they're
really?
aggravating.
A backhoe works.
Well, okay, so
Yeah.
cheaper.
So to be in defense, so when Kathy finds the molehills, I try to find the master tunnel, and then I put in the worms. That is some of the
Yeah.
granular stuff that an exterminator would use, and try to stick the worms in there for them to eat and choke
See,
and
my
die.
problem is I have dogs, and my dogs like to dig. They're rat terriers. That's their whole reason for living, is to go out there and dig. So between their holes and the mole holes and the mole tunnels, I mean,
They're probably digging the holes for the moles.
probably so. You get on the lawnmower and you go to mow the lawn, and it's like bump, 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 and it was so bad. It was
Kathy's
so
a
bad.
devil
Yeah,
dog.
well,
Yeah, I think that's what.
it's not just one family. You know, if it was just one family, I wouldn't have a problem. But there's it's a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, you could have
There's like 8 houses.
Yeah, you could have a couple moles. You could have 100 moles, and their houses are so far deep under, you'll never be able to go to their houses. But there is a way to run them away to your neighbor's yard if you don't like your neighbors, or
That's it.
I'm running mine to the ditch
Bingo.
behind my house.
I
I
know where
respect
Kathy's
my
gonna
neighbors.
run
So.
hers. I know where she's running.
I'm going
hers.
to run mine to the neighbors. I got just the thing for 4th of July.
I probably
For
got
a
them from the
neighbor
neighbors. I probably got them from the neighbors.
Now, I don't know what happened, but the foolproof way used to be, because I watched it on TV.
Mhm.
I watched it every weekend on TV when I was a little kid.
Caddyshack?
Elmer Fudd. Elmer would stick a water hose down at one end of the tunnel where it came up, and he'd turn it on, and water would come all the way through wherever that tunnel was, and the
Mhm.
little boogers would drown.
Huh.
I thought that was Bugs Bunny.
One or the other. Elmer Fudd was with Bugs
Look,
Bunny.
Kathy, when I
Elmer
was
shot Bugs Bunny. I remember try several
Please
times.
inform
Tried.
me later.
Kathy, when I was researching how to do this, and I went on YouTube, and some of the stuff that some of the people were putting on YouTube, I saw one guy that was digging holes and pouring gasoline in there, and I thought, your whole yard's about to go up. Get rid of the moles, but yeah.
Kaboom.
But I
Fuel
finally
oil.
came across a professional,
It
and
doesn't explode. Gasoline explodes.
I have followed it, exactly, or what you need to do, and it's working. It's working well.
Do you think they like Alka-Seltzer tablets? Do you think they would eat them?
I didn't see anything about Alka-Seltzer, but I know you can take juicy fruit gum, the yellow kind, and you go to where one of their tunnels is, and then you put something in that tunnel to make a hole, and then you drop the juicy fruit down there, and then you cover it, and they will eat the juicy fruit, and it expands their belly, and it kills them.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of juicy
We're
fruit.
talking about murder.
Plus the fact that
The moles.
the dogs will dig it up. They smell that juicy fruit. They're going to dig it up.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Hey, Rayford,
Yes.
you were talking about Alka-Seltzer. Have you ever threw an Alka-Seltzer up in the tablet up at the beach and let a seagull take it?
Why are you all so mean?
May I plead the Fifth
God.
Amendment?
Okay.
Mean.
Did
I
she
have
say
done
that? I
it
thought
one
she
time in
said.
my life, and the outcome was something I really
You've
would
never
never
heard
do
of that,
again.
Chris?
I've never. No, this is the first I've heard Kathy mention Alka-Seltzer.
But you've heard about this, right?
No.
Oh yeah,
That's
that
like Marine Corps days.
used to be the thing. When those danged old things were out there pestering you. Listen, I used to do a lot of surf fishing. Those critters would come down. You do cut bait on a board up here, and you leave some of it behind, and then you go down to the surf to catch a line, and you turn around, and there's a couple of critters up there called seagulls eating my bait.
Eating your catch.
Absolutely, no, they're just eating the bait. My
Oh,
God.
the bait.
Yeah.
The only problem I've ever had with seagulls at the beach is like, you better
Poop, poop.
wear a hat.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. or you got this kid next to you sitting there feeding them, and then they're flying everywhere. So.
Oh yeah, I got some bad stories about that one too. If you get aboard a ferry going over to Ocracoke or any of that stuff, and anybody forward of the stern of that boat, if they're out there feeding the seagulls, they need to be shark food.
I learned my lesson.
Somebody told me in Hawaii when I was stationed there about this one way to get rid of some of them, and that was to throw an Alka-Seltzer tablet up in the air because they grab anything. And so they said, and then watch what happens. I was thinking,
okay, I have to ask.
It dissolves, it becomes gaseous, and the acid and the stuff in the stomach, and it starts to swell up. And have you ever put Alka-Seltzer in water and watch what happens?
I don't even take it. So
I don't either.
Oh, man. Oh, the thing about riding a ferry, I learned my lesson. I had a convertible or a Mustang.
Oh, you were silly.
And got on the ferry and didn't think about putting the top up. And it was. I learned a lesson. You never go on a ferry
Decorations
with your top down.
Yeah, well, see, that's why you got to wear a hat to the beach. There's no doubt about it. But
I would say that.
Yeah, on the Mustang.
You put your okay.
The Mustang.
Say this.
Yeah, that one.
For all the years we've now covered every subject on this show.
It's life lessons we have to share.
well, it's local, live and local. I mean, we're going live here, so let's celebrate what the issues are out there. Some of them are seagulls.
The worst thing about it is, Rayford.
Now, if seagulls would eat moles, we'd be in good shape.
Yeah, we would.
The worst thing about that experience was once you're on the ferry, you can't start the engine.
That's right.
You can't put the top up. You have to ride that 45 minutes with the top down in seagulls.
And if it's on the Ocracoke to or the ferry,
an hour 15 something.
2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You must never. I took the fast ferry.
You're not to Ocracoke.
Yes, Kathy.
While you got your computer in front of you, Google the dodo birds.
The dodo bird. Well, I have to Google that.
Yeah, we used to have those at the air station down in Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
And they would fly in and get into the engines of the plane and cause major problems.
Oh, sure.
And they're not little baby birds. They're pretty good-sized birds.
And the birds didn't have a real good time in those engines either.
No, they didn't. But I'm telling you, it was
chicken salad
on the flight line.
Yeah.
Did you find them yet?
No, I haven't.
Yes, but the one I found said that they are now extinct. They're
one plane too many.
They ran into all the airplane engines.
They've been sliced and diced.
Well, there are other birds out there. You've heard of the boobies, right?
Oh, the booby bird, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where y'all coming up with this? We go from dodo to booby bird.
Notice I'm being quiet.
All right.
They're all over, particularly in the islands. So it's a tropical type critter, and they are just plentiful. They're everywhere.
Right away, it took me to a singer.
They're the most obnoxious birds, and that's why when one becomes extinct, we have to come up with another one. And there's plenty of them out there that just do things that just drive people absolutely crazy.
It's
so you
true.
have to give them a name.
There are booby birds.
Kathy, think about this. Well, think about this, Kathy.
They hunt fish.
They've been around since Fred Flintstone. That's where I first heard of dodo birds. So.
The dodo birds, Freddie
and Barney.
Yeah. Well, they survived that long into the Rock Age, but they didn't make it very long when the airplanes started coming around.
Yeah.
We introduced them to the engines.
Yeah, the Flintstone cars with no floorboards were one thing, but those airplanes with the big jet engines in it was something else.
That's it, right? That was a welcome home. Come on in.
Your line there or have in the past at some point in time, right? Kathy, have you? I'm sure you're accustomed to a lawnmower. You've used them, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You ever been mowing across the yard, and then there's suddenly a phoom, comes out of the chute? You wonder what it was?
My cell phone.
You and Dee Dee. She did like 3 of them in a row. But no, I did that. But I figured out what it was. I watched a snake go down in a hole.
Oh,
I like
God.
that.
And the snake popped. When he popped his head up, I was a little kid. I just pushed that lawnmower right over the top of it, right up the side of the chute. It was a part of a snake.
Oh my gosh.
I've never had that experience, but I have
Frogs.
my own personal mower, and I will start using it because we do have a little black snake. Well, no, he's not little to me,
Oh,
but he's a black snake,
Oh,
and he hangs around at the shed. So I'm gonna have to bring out my mower and just try to find him.
No. Black snakes are good. They kill the venomous snakes.
well, what you need to do is you need to put it down in that mole tunnel and see if you can track down some moles.
All we're doing is feeding them and making them bigger. You
Yeah.
know, that's what I'm saying. These holes are getting huge, and the mounds are getting bigger.
Yeah, well, they'll be easier to shoot that way.
right.
Well, yeah, I'm
Easier to
thinking
hit.
a certain amount. Name some of these mounds, like they did. But some of the famous mounds. So I'm going to start naming each one of them and put a little flag up there. So I don't know.
If you get two of them together, just call them Dolly.
Okay,
we gotta go.
I knew that was coming. I was like, don't say it.
What?
We've got to do weather because we've got Chris waiting on us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye,
Thank you.
Kathy.
Y'all have a great day.
Bye.
Okay.
Let's go to sea.
Oh,
It's quieter out there. So it might not be for a couple of days there. Offshore after 20 nautical miles, we got that frontal system. Been talking about it. It's now a tropical disturbance number 1, slowly approaching. Should cross the area waters this morning and through the week. And more showers and thunderstorms. High pressure through the holiday weekend with the frontal boundary stalling off the southeast coast today. Westerly winds 10 to 15 knots, becoming southwesterly 5 to 10 this afternoon. Seas 3 to 4, 7 seconds apart. Adjacent sounds and rivers a moderate chop, diminishing to a light chop this afternoon. A chance of showers and boomers. Tomorrow. Independence Day, northerly winds 5 to 10 knots. You'll notice the winds swishing around to the north now, okay? Think about it. When the winds start making changes, you're going to have some change in the weather. Winds to begin with tomorrow, 5 to 10 knots. Switching around to the east, 10 to 15 in the afternoon. Seas 3 to 4. They will be building. They're 7 seconds apart tomorrow. Sounds and rivers a light chop, increasing to a moderate in the afternoon. Saturday, easterly winds around 15 knots. Seas 3 to 5. 8 seconds apart. 8 seconds apart. Those seas are going to be rounding up, getting kind of big with the movement and increased intensity of tropical disturbance number 1. We'll see larger swells developing, sounds and rivers, a moderate chop.
Okay. Whew. Today, I know it was a lot, Rayford. Today, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Partly sunny with a high near 89. Calm wind becoming southeast around 5 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tonight, a chance of early evening showers and thunderstorms. Partly cloudy with a low around 71. Independence Day, a slight chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Mostly sunny with a high near 90. And Saturday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, partly sunny with a high near 87. And we do have a beach advisory today.
That means,
Be careful.
well, be careful of what? Sharks?
Rip
Rip
currents.
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 That's
what
right.
You got to be careful for.
Check out those flags when you go out there.
With the changing in the weather and all that sort of good stuff, be ever so careful out there. It may look 2 to 3 footers. You might think they're gentle rollers or whatever,
That's right.
but those waves, when they roll in, they cross that little sandbar just off the beach that you can see if you look carefully. When they roll over, gently roll into, they will rush back out. I'm sure you've
Right.
seen waves rushing out. You know what that undertow, they call it, feels like.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
when it channels into one little spot and cuts an opening through that sandbar, that's like an inlet with outgoing tide.
All right. Thank you.
And I sprayed in here this morning, so they're probably going to be running everywhere.
Yes.
And anyway, it's going to cut an inlet through the sandbar, and it will rush out. And if you're out there, you're going to get caught in it. You cannot swim against it. Y'all are too young to remember who Mark Spitz was. Mark Spitz could not swim against it. No swimmer can swim against it. Just let it drift, take you out to sea a little ways.
Yeah.
It won't go very far, 50, 60 feet beyond the breakers. Then you're done. So
Yes.
it's over.
Yes.
Then you just swim up or down the beach. Your choice. Swim up or down the beach, and then swim across the sandbar and walk on in. That's the way you do it. If you panic, you're going to be fighting it. You're going to get tired, and you're going to drown.
Yes.
Now, Is that about succinct enough?
That's
Well, rip currents are very, if you can see them. You can see them before you even go in the water.
If you're up high, go to the top of the dunes and look. You will be able to see them there from there. Down at sea level, it's hard to see exactly where they are.
Yeah.
So
well,
be kind of careful with it.
you got two waves going this way, and then the center where it's doing the opposite. There you go.
That's it.
But guess what time it is?
It's another time.
It's
Pop it
another
up
time.
again. And let's see, does he have a microphone pot over here I need to turn up? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good morning, my friends. How's
Good
everybody doing this
morning.
morning?
I was thinking he was going to say 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, Chris.
Okay.
Good morning. Yeah, I know I
Chris.
called in yesterday, but I guess it's Miller time today. But just wanted to see how y'all are doing and give you all an update on how local sports are doing.
No, that's what we count on every week. There, we like to know our local sports, the backstory quite often, not just the scores. Anybody can get the scores. You got 422 channels on TV that'll give you the scores of everything, right? None of them local, but we can get them. But what we want to know is what's going on in the background.
the Jinxinator.
The Jinxinator.
Yeah, that was a fun story.
Yeah, it was.
Lee, did you get a chance to give Roy Sinnott a hard time?
No, I almost called him yesterday afternoon, and then I got sidetracked and forgot about it till it was too late. But yeah, we definitely going to have a talk with him.
Yeah.
Maybe if he's listening, he'll call in later.
Yeah, well, they were supposed to have a game yesterday, but I don't know if it got postponed because of inclement weather. But
Right.
Ospreys, they've won 13, they've lost 5. Like I was saying yesterday, they coming off a tough one Tuesday night at home, but they're still doing well, and looks like still they're in contention to make the playoffs in their league. So they're doing really well. They have some good players, and the coaching staff's done a great job, and the Patino family continues to do a great job putting on a good show. And so it's it really is a good situation.
Okay, so the record is Ospreys 13, others 5, Bennett 3. Is that right?
So if you're a big Jacksonville Cardinal football fan, which I know you are, Randy, you want Royce to stay away from Jacksonville Cardinals this year.
And it won't happen, but
It will.
what, that
I've
Russ will
never
stay
seen
away?
him at a game.
Oh,
He better not start coming.
If he starts coming and we lose, we're going to test gravity from the top of the bleachers.
just get him a reserve seat on the visitor side.
Oh my gosh.
Although I got to get Chris, you go all over the stadium. You did it in basketball. You did it when I saw you at the football games at Northside and some other places. You're all over the place. He's not just on the home team side we're covering here in Onslow. He's over there talking to the other coaches.
Well, Chris's thing is, he could pay for a gym membership and go out and work out every day, or he could get paid to go cover these games. So, in two versus one stone.
Yeah.
No, I will say this: knock on wood. That's the good thing about being able to work from remotely from the house is you're able to get a lot of stuff done in the morning and listen to live and local in the morning, and then while you get some stuff done, and then during school you drop your little one off and you get some more work done, and kind of around middle of the day you start to maybe go for a run and get some workout in for about an hour or so. So it's come back and eat lunch and get a little bit more work done before you go to the ball game. So it's that's the nice thing about working remotely is you're able to kind of run some errands or go work out, go for a run in the neighborhood. So that's that definitely keeps
or come over here to Live and Local. It's only a couple of blocks from you and sit down in the mornings and stay with us one day.
Well, we're working up something real soon.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we're working on it. I guess Mike McHugh, Chris Marks, and me. We can call it McHugh points with Miller and Marks or something like that.
I like that. I like it. Yes. Mike's out of town right now,
Give me a
but
headache.
he'll be back by this weekend. So.
I'm with Chris Marks, on the mark with Mike and Chris or something like that. So there's a lot of fun we can have with it.
Yeah, we'll come up with something.
Okay, we'll do something.
But disclaimer, warning, Rayford, if you bring all three of us, we're not going to hold back.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to take phone calls, Chris?
Oh, we invite them, but we're not going to hold back.
Yeah.
There you go. Wide open.
Yep.
Let's see, we'll have to
Spaghetti
come up
will
with a
be
warning.
involved, and
Warning.
we'll have that's my thing now, and Lee, you know what I'm talking about. We'll have
Yes, I
spaghetti
do.
involved, and we'll have potluck involved.
You know, what's interesting is Chris is very outgoing. He is. No, he is, except if you point him out in a crowd at
he
a
doesn't
football
want to be
game or
recognized.
and I always did it out of love and fun with him. And in the either stadium or in the gym with us tonight from the Daily News, Chris Miller, and made sure that
Yes, absolutely.
he's all right there. You know,
He's the guy wearing the beat tutu or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris Miller standing on the sidelines next to number 40 for the Cardinals.
I just wanted to make sure they knew which one you were.
Well, like you said, as long as the fans didn't boo, then I think we were okay. I didn't mind not getting any applause, but as long as they didn't boo, then I think we
They
were
never booed.
okay.
Never booed.
Well, I think I'll bring them there. Oh, you know what? I know where that little PA system is up there at the Cardinal Stadium. And, not that I've ever done this, but, a little wireless mic receiver attached at the back of that mixer, that amplifier, going to one of the inputs. And this wireless mic receiver is the pot's turned up. Nobody ever notices, right?
Huh?
And then somebody in the stands with a wireless mic can kick it on from time to time and say, "Hey," can you imagine the
Yeah.
confusion that I could create? I mean, that somebody could create doing something like that.
Let's not.
I've got 3 wireless mics here. You want to try it, Chris?
No, thank you. No, thank you. Well, but those were some good times, and Mr. Marks would do that, and I know he misses doing the PA stuff and the when I don't know, the coaches and the kids, the parents really appreciated it, and there was some fun times. The Northside teams were some great teams, and we had a lot of fun back in those days.
We did.
Well, is it hot enough yet so that the teams can get out there and sweat off some pounds?
Yeah, with the football, I've actually made my
Yes.
rounds to various different football workouts, trying to get some preview stuff done and preseason preview stuff, and then they're out there. On the days that's really, really hot, they'll be inside the gym just because you want to take safety precautions. But some of these teams are going early in the morning, like Jacksonville will go 7 to 9 in the morning to kind of beat the heat, and so that's a smart on them. If you're somebody like Croatan, your school is basically right on top of the water, so the water's right there. So when you practice, they enjoy that that breeze. So that helps them when they along the water. So when they go late in the afternoon, that helps for them. And then but other schools will go either early in the morning or go around 5 or 6 in the afternoon. But in the weight room and then hit the field. So all these teams are working hard to prepare for the season. I mean, the first day of official practice is July 30th. Can you believe that?
Rayford, I was going to tell you, stalking him once again on X, but I know he did this one for you. No, not that kind of stalk. He posted this for you, and it was 5 days ago. He said, we are about 1 month from the start of official football practice on July 30th. And I thought about you, and I said, Chris tweeted that just for Rayford.
Sure. When's the first
Well,
day? When's the first game?
I tweeted it just for Lee so she can relay the message. I know Rayford doesn't have.
It's the old Andy Griffith episode.
Yes.
Winking will tell Blinken, Blinken tell Nod, Nod tells Barney, Barney tells.
Oh, God.
Hey, Chris, I got a question for you. So Richlands is going to have a new football coach. Have you had a chance to talk to him?
I'm sorry, what school?
Richlands.
Yep. I've already been in communication. I did a story a couple weeks ago on Bill Good, a really nice guy, and actually sat down with him about a week ago as well. So he's been a part of the coaching staff for several years and has actually coached a lot of those kids, like in rec ball and youth level. So a lot of the seniors and juniors are aware of them and have worked with them for several years. So it was a good pick. He brings some stability, and like I said, a lot of people are familiar with him. So I think he's going to be a good one, and then we'll see how the Wildcats do this year.
Cool. Okay, they had been struggling for quite a while.
They were.
For several years.
Yeah, they were, but they've got.
They're getting their stuff together now, Chris.
Oh yeah, they've won 9 games the previous couple of years. I mean, they went 9-2 last year, which
that's good. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, the most wins in quite some time, and shared a conference title about 3 years ago with 2 other teams. So they're and then of course they've beaten Southwest 3 straight years, which
is amazing in itself.
Well,
that means a lot to the Richlands community.
Because they're still mad about Southwest.
Well, it does, because the first team that I covered on the radio was the Southwest Stallions with Billy Woodward Jr. And in all honesty, and Phil, God rest his soul, is great. Is still probably one of the best coaches we ever had in Onslow County. It was almost like, okay, this is one we're going to put in the win column before the season started. And it wasn't nothing against Richlands. It's just Southwest had all those powerhouse teams, and Richlands didn't. But now it's even down. Chris just mentioned 3 wins in a row.
Well, Richlands got mad when Southwest was built and took over part of the Richlands territory, and a lot of the players that would have been going to Richlands ended up at Southwest, and that was not nice, according to Richlands people. Okay, now let's see. We got Richlands. The other teams, we got Jacksonville. Are the Cardinals looking okay this year? I mean, man-wise, personnel.
Yeah, I think they're going to reload and rebuild. I think they're going to have another strong season. And then you talk to Coach Bo Williams, and he's a man of a few words anyway. But he doesn't like to he likes to keep the cards close to his chest. So he doesn't like to disclose a lot of information about who's going to be this and who's going to be that, but he continues to say that the kids are working hard and the seniors are becoming great leaders. So that's what I think they'll I think they'll have another strong season. So it may take a little work in progress, because you do have some kids that weren't starters that are now becoming starters, but they did get some playing time last year. So. It'll be interesting to see how they elevate, how they progress in those new roles. And Rayford, speaking of radio, do you remember when you would listen to a ball game on the radio, and the radio guy would say, moving left to right on your radio dial?
Oh God, yes.
That drove me crazy.
The guy did color, so it
drove me crazy. I'm sitting there in my mind going like, bouncing my head back and forth like clockwise, counterclockwise.
Chris, they do it when you're listening to maybe the Tar Heels or something. Jones will say the same thing. Moving left to right on your
and nothing is more humorous when you listen to a ball game on the radio for the announcer to say, "Did you see that?"
Or like there's so much going on and you're not really sure who has the ball, because the announcer is not really, they forget we can't see what's going on. And then they'll yell touchdown, and you're going like, who got the touchdown? Who got the touchdown?
Which team got the touchdown?
And then always when they went to kick for the extra point, it seems like that's when they break to go to commercial. And so they come back. They don't tell you whether they got the extra point or not. And once again, we can't see it. Oh, gosh, sometimes it can be hard listening to an active football game by radio, because
doing play-by-play is an art. I mean, I will tell you, it is a major art. And because you got to have somebody who's paying attention to detail. Attention to detail is a key phrase in pretty much anything. But play-by-play on the radio, it's hard work.
I'll tell you what, if you've ever had to do it, and I had to do it twice, covering the Cardinals, play-by-play and color. You're the only person in the booth.
It's how you did it all?
Did it all.
Oh, Lord God.
Wow.
Yeah. It was, but the thing that you have to remember from our side of the booth is you've got to. You're giving the name of the player.
That's right.
Because the parent already knows what the player. Rayford's number is 24, but the parent doesn't want to hear 24. They want to hear Rayford Brown with a touchdown. Touchdown, Brown.
Yeah.
And Chris, as long as we don't say our guy has the ball, and I think you know.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Our guy has the ball. Well,
Who are you?
who's our guy?
And,
the Jacksonville soccer team have a new guy.
Yeah.
And the other thing is too, when you do that, you've got to understand that there are people like me, for instance, when there's a Jacksonville game out of town.
Right.
I may be looking for a radio station in that neck of the woods
Yes.
that I tune into,
Yes.
online or wherever, so I can listen to what's going on. And I get them, and they say our guy, and I said, well, who Sam Hill's our guy? Which one is our guy? Their guy. What? How about just the card's number 26? He's got the ball. He's headed up the end zone. He's headed to the end zone. He's okay. He scored. He's got 6 points on the board right now. Stand by for the after. Went after.
I'm pretty blessed during our football season here in Onslow County with Chris because I follow him on X. We stay in contact, and
so y'all are X-rated at the football games.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And that help really does, matter, Chris. And I appreciate the scores, and when you'll listen to games, and I ask people at games that I'm not going to, as I look, I know it's a pain, but can you give me updates? Because I mean, believe it or not, a lot of your football coaches won't have stat keepers. They'll kind of look at the stats, kind of keep the stats while they're watching the game film over the weekend. So, people want to get recaps of the other games that I'm not at. So they don't want just the score. They want who scored touchdowns. So I'm always asking people, all right, who scored touchdowns? I mean, I think Johnny Smith scored a touchdown. Well, coach, I don't need to know. I don't want to know if you think who scored, because it may not be you that gets the email from the upset parent.
Let me ask
I have
you.
a lot of people, like say Chris Marks has helped me. Other parents have helped me, and I know it can be a pain in the sometimes. But everybody who's helped me, hey Chris, we're up 7-0, and John Smith just scored, a touchdown in the first quarter. All that help is it really goes a long way. So, everybody who's helped me, I appreciate it very much.
Right, you do a good job.
You do a great job, Chris.
Even when I'm listening to a game and I get very confused as to what's going on because, got two split to the right, one to the left, and you're going from right to left on your radio down, blah, blah. I'm like, what? But I go back and I follow Chris. I just keep refreshing the page because he'll update the scores, and which is good. And then anything pertinent happens, he'll put that. So that's how I follow when I'm listening to it on the radio, because you can't see what's going on. And unless you understand football lingo, you don't know what, which I've learned over the last couple of years. But
you're a girl, you don't need to know that stuff. Just have a man explain it to you.
There's several things I could say here, which I'm not going to. I did want to ask you, Chris, so do you follow any of the soccer, like Liverpool soccer?
Liverpool?
Yeah, international, like soccer teams.
Well, like I said, we actually went to go see my favorite soccer team last week in Charlotte.
Right.
A German team, Bayern Munich, is my favorite team. So I follow English Premier League, German Bundesliga.
Yeah.
So I follow all that stuff. So, Bayern Munich is a team in Germany. You can imagine why, but
yes.
They're my favorite team.
Well, the reason why I was asking is because some breaking news just came out. Liverpool soccer star Diogo Jota. Was killed in a car crash in Spain.
Yeah, him and his brother, passed away. I guess last night and earlier this morning in a car wreck.
Yeah.
And he has 3 young children, and I guess him and his partner just got married a few weeks ago. So it's unfortunate. I mean, I just saw that this morning. That was one of the first things I saw when I was looking at my feed. It's very sad, and it's just very unfortunate.
Well, hate to hear that. My goodness gracious.
Yeah.
You know, you ever heard of the Liverpool lead ingots?
Okay.
The Liverpool lead ingots.
No,
I had
No.
one for a while.
no clue.
Yeah, took it off the modern Greece. It was a blockade runner during the Civil War, and we were diving on it. There was one there, and stamped in the top of about a 50-pound piece of lead, chunk of lead, was Liverpool. Liverpool was a friend of the South during the Civil War. Did you know that?
No.
They were shipping us lead ingots so we could blow gas bullets out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Okay.
well, we gotta
We've covered it
Well,
all
we got-
today.
Some of them
We
are
gotta
on
find
display
y'all,
at the museum down there.
we gotta find y'all a team. I guess Kelly said that she was a Manchester United fan a couple weeks ago, and we gotta find you guys some teams to root for.
Yeah, okay. I'm rooting for the Cardinals, so whoever.
Yeah.
But we're good. All right,
Yeah.
Chris, thank you.
And I'm probably if you get any phone calls from certain individuals, because I got you in trouble with.
I know about it.
Let me know, Rayford.
You keep me in trouble.
If you
and
get a
this-
phone call from our guy later on today, let me know.
Okay, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good.
Keep up the good work,
Thank you,
Chris.
Chris. Yeah, knock 'em dead.
We love you, brother.
All right. Yeah, you take care.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye. Chris Miller, sports editor of the Jacksonville Daily News, our good friend and
I love that guy.
sports guy extraordinaire. He is. What a
Okay, and you
breath of fresh air in here. We got. Let's see. And we
Well, thank you.
We got coming up here. We got. Did he bring any donuts today or anything?
There you go.
No, just the cookies.
No.
No,
Him.
oh, him, not.
Him. What's this guy's name? Jelly somebody or Jelly Roll? Wasn't there a?
He doesn't look like Jelly Roll.
I'm still waiting for my ears to calm down here. I have those magic plastic ears. Okay, now
Can you hear me now?
You hear me?
I can hear you now, but I'm going. There we go. Yeah.
Fred Jelinek.
Hi.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Well, yeah, I gotta get my feet working, but other than that,
What's wrong with your feet?
they gave me some magic pills to fix a problem, and it sort of dissolved.
You started giggling.
I didn't. It's just. No, I'm sorry. It's
It kind of dissolved my tendons
I
and so.
can't see. Can you see? Sorry.
Tim.
Uh-oh.
Tim.
It's Tim.
Tim.
Is our donkey man.
Yeah.
Fred's with the Coast Guard Auxiliary. I mean, he is Mr. Coast Guard Auxiliary, Mr. Fisherman Extraordinaire.
Yeah.
And we go back about 10, 12, 15 years or something like that. But we're gonna talk to a guy here. He's our jackass man. Hey, Timmy, what's up?
We're talking about the one on the phone, Fred.
Well, the one on the wall too.
Yeah, there you go. How y'all are?
Wins will be good here, good buddy.
Yeah.
Tim is the donkey man, as you all know, who listen to the show. And are you working today, or are you just goofing off?
I'm working today. I'm riding down the road naked underneath my clothes as always.
Well, that's good. Don't show all your stuff.
Now only Lee blushed, I guarantee you. But yeah,
Yeah,
Actually, she didn't. So
she didn't.
that's,
I just don't have what I used to have. I
yeah.
declare.
Apparently, you've just
I'm smiling, Tim.
Oh, you're
smiling,
Okay.
smirking, laughing. I don't know, one or the other.
Are we on there tomorrow?
Yeah,
Yes.
Wins be here. You going to be with us?
I had planned to.
Okay.
But I'm calling this morning a little bit off topic, what y'all do, but I wanted some people to get their reaction. The USDA, right here in Jacksonville, and the tax office, what I call it, the tax building,
It is. We paid for it.
got an eviction notice.
Oh, really?
Yes.
When?
And I'm going to find out more this week. My understanding, they got an eviction notice.
they got
They've got
evicted.
to get out. They're getting evicted.
Got failed to pay their
And
bills?
I'm gonna call and find out. I didn't know if the county commissioners knew it or not. We've discussed this before about the revenue that
they get from the federal government on the rent. Now,
Uh-huh.
the lease has been up for a long time, but what the federal government does after the lease is up, they just keep paying. They just keep paying until they get a lease.
Oh.
Now, the county had the opportunity two times to make a bid on a new lease. And both times, I mean, they even reopened the bid one time just so the county can make a bid, because the county manager's office says, yes, if we could get the bid back open, we bid and we can get it. Because USDA and the federal government rather have them close into a government building for security reasons.
Sure, absolutely.
And, and not to mention the amount of money that the USDA puts back into the county every year, millions of dollars. People don't rent directly and indirectly. But I was told yesterday that they had got an eviction notice, and the proposal was before, when they get the old garment factory or senior services open back up, they will put them back over there. But now they don't want them at all. And I guess it goes back to what you and I talked about a long time ago. And even one of the county commissioners called in one time and said, we're not in the business of making money. We're just in the business of trying to break even. There's nothing wrong with revenue. And that helps pay the light bill and this, that, and the other. And what's they're going to be affected. And the excuse was, well, we're having to rent buildings to put county employees in, and we just don't feel like that. Have y'all walked through that building, that county tax office building?
I have.
Oh, yeah.
Once a
There's
year for
a
sure.
lot of wasted space in there. A lot of wasted space. There's rooms in there. I've been in there at different times. Nobody's in. Nobody's in. And you got a little crowd right there that's bringing in a little, rent money every month. I didn't want to kick them out. And this is not the first time they've ever wanted to do this. Been trying to do it off and on for years. And I have never understood that. Why you want to bite the hand that helps feed you? Because that little bit of revenue can make the difference on property tax. Good. It probably wouldn't.
Tim,
But the USDA does a lot for each county. But no, go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm sorry, Tim. Who is getting evicted?
U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Okay. I'm sorry, I missed that part.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, they're going to evict them. So I know there's some county commissioners listening. So yeah, I'm hoping to go on tomorrow. I'm going to find out some more information.
Well, maybe we'll find
today.
out by tomorrow when you get in here. Maybe we'll have one of them we can talk to at the same time.
I want to find out exactly why that is, and they're talking. And like I said, the excuse was, well, we're paying rent on buildings that are ours for county employees. But I'm looking around, and I've been in that office. There's a lot of ways to. Have you? There's lots and lots of room in that building.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never in my life. But that's fine. I mean, if you want to quit getting that monthly check, that's fine. Now, if the government has ceased paying for it, I totally understand the victim. I totally understand.
Yep.
But I know for a fact, because I was married to an FSA officer, I still am, for years and years and years, and I know.
So far.
I caught that.
I know when the lease goes up, they'll start bidding on leases, but until then, they still send that check every month.
Yeah.
And Onslow County is getting the rent for two counties. Understand that. There's two counties working out of that, Jones and Onslow.
Really? Okay.
Because it's a combined county. That office, the FSA, our Farm Service Agency, is a combined county, and so is rural development.
Yeah, interesting.
And there's lots of programs for the farm, lots of programs for individuals. You go in there and check on it.
All right, Jimmy, we're going to put this on the burner and talk about it tomorrow, too. How's that?
That's fine. That's fine. Hey, that's fine. I just want to throw it in there. I know y'all, I've been listening to your show. I'm headed to the air station now, but I want to throw that in on you, Big Ray.
All right. If they
And
got
y'all be good.
if they got an extra helicopter out there, tell them to send it my way. We got room in the backyard for a small one.
Okay.
All right.
All right, bud.
Thank you.
Y'all take them easy.
See ya. Bye.
So now from the air to the water.
To the sea, from the air to the sea, air, and land. We could have some SEAL teams out there, right?
Could be.
Captain Fred, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. Fred's a member of the Swansboro. It's not the chapter, it's the
Flotilla.
of the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary, which, by the way, just celebrated its 86th anniversary.
That's right. I didn't. I wasn't there all the time, but
Not just, you
Too young.
came a little bit late. Right?
came later.
Yeah,
Right.
me too. Not much, but a little bit.
Yep.
So
It's a good gang of people working hard to keep everybody safe.
let's explain to people what this auxiliary is. It's not necessarily made up of prior Coast Guard coasties. That's not what it's about. It's not people that they could call up from the reserves or the auxiliary or whatever to go out to join up and go fight or do whatever. You guys own your own boats. You got your own Navy, right?
We have our own Navy, and we're composed of people that have come from every armed service.
So in other words, you're Army.
I'm Army. There was Air Force. We've had Marines. We've had Navy folks. We've had pure, honest to God, tax-paying civilians.
And even any coasties?
We've had Coastie. We have a commander is an ex-Coastie.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So we're covered.
You know what USCG actually stands for, right?
I'm not going to say. Go ahead. What is your view?
Uncle Sam's Confused Group.
Okay, that's fine.
I can say that because I was.
Yeah.
So
Some people say the only reason they exist is to keep the Navy from getting lost, but we won't get into that stuff.
well,
Go
when
into
our
the
boats
wars.
when our boats sank, we could just walk ashore too. It's not a
That's right.
No, just kidding. Coasties are. I love the Coast Guard. I love those guys out there. They do a remarkable job. And today, even more than ever, I think since the Revenue days, they're doing more as far as law enforcement, plus keeping us safe.
Yeah, that's right.
Safety is important.
They are the guys with the vests and the guns. They are the people that enforce the laws
Mm-hmm.
and the rules. The auxiliary, on the other hand, has nothing to do with guns or being a
That's-
bad guy.
That's not a bad guy. Guys
Yeah.
with guns are good guys.
That's right.
But Coast Guard Auxiliary, you're out there to 110% to do nothing but to assist.
That's right. We keep people from getting into trouble, and we do it a couple of ways. We have our boater safety classes, where we teach people things about navigation and how to operate
Some
your
of
boat.
that is required these days for certain people.
It is. And it's a required class, and some people do it with the free class online, and the trouble with that is they don't learn about the local waters here, which is what we cover when we're teaching the class. We talk about Bogue Inlet, we talk about navigating up and down the intercoastal waterway, which some people find very confusing.
Well, they should find it confusing.
It is.
Sometimes it can be confusing. That's the reason you need to study. You need to know the local situation wherever you are.
Yeah, I ran aground the first time I came down here, having been a Jordan Lake sailor, and people were all messed up down here because they were going on the wrong side of the buoys, I thought, but I was wrong.
That's
So-
well, I'll tell you one thing. The first boater that you ever run into that says that I never have run aground, he's a liar.
That's true.
Right
Yeah.
up front.
So we try to do our vessel safety checks, we have a website, swansboroaux.aux.com. And if you go to that website, you can get yourself a vessel safety check, which means one of our vessel safety check guys will come to your dock, will come to your driveway, will go to wherever your boat is in the area, and they will give you a free, no obligation vessel safety check to make sure you've got all your stuff together.
And if you don't have all your stuff together, they're not going to turn it into the Coast Guard or Marine Patrol or the wildlife officers. That's not what your purpose is.
That's correct. We just tell you, hey, you got to get this fixed before we're going to give you one of our magic stickers.
Uh-huh.
And if you get the annual magic sticker, well, when the Coast Guard stops you, generally they just want to see your PFDs and let you go on
Yeah,
your way.
just make sure you're doing right today.
But if you don't have one of them, sometimes they give you a more thorough check
Uh-huh.
because they know you've already been checked by the auxiliary.
Fred, let me ask you a question. I don't own a boat,
Yep.
But I've been on plenty of what's a PFD,
A personal flotation device,
Thank
commonly
you.
called a life jacket.
life jacket, which
Yeah.
we covered yesterday. Yeah.
So at the swansboroaux.aux.com, you just go to the website, say, I want a vessel
Mhm.
safety check. And what that does is it sends an automatic email out to our local guys or gals, and they'll come and check your boat. And that's really a good
It is.
service.
And on weekends and during the week, and some of the guys are out there. And, you got your own personal boats.
Right. We do our safety check. We do our patrol, our safety patrols.
Yeah, and you'll be out on the water, monitoring the radio, but also just looking for people that may look like they need assistance. Yada yada yada. They're broken down. They're over there cranking as hard as they can on that motor that won't start.
Yeah. If somebody's in trouble, we'll try to get them squared away. We either we'll make a call to the Towboat US or Boat US folks to come and give them a hand, or call a neighbor or whatever they need.
Yeah.
And the main thing is, if we see somebody doing something that isn't legal and is dangerous, we say, oh, by the way, you shouldn't have your kids up on the bow of that boat.
Let's talk about that for just a minute, because that's a pet peeve of mine. Always has been. You got kiddies on the boat, little people on the boat.
Yep.
And they're sitting up there, what they call bow riding, and bow riders boats. I don't like even the name of it. They should have never named them that. But you don't sit on the bow of the boat or anywhere else where you stick your legs, your arms, or any other parts of your body overboard
It's
or
a darn
off the side.
It's a darn dangerous, because if you hit a wake,
A bump in the water and
Yep.
And 17 feet later, if your boat's 17 feet long, you've got a blade turning 5,800 RPMs, 3 or 4 of those blades, and they call that chum.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm sorry to be graphic, but that's what it is.
Yeah, I have a
We had that last
wonderful
week.
picture of a person run over by a boat. He looks like a spiral cut ham.
Yep.
And I'm not allowed to show that to the public, because it's really
Oh, really?
disgusting.
I've seen them.
We were just talking about a story yesterday of one that occurred over the weekend. A pontoon boat where
Still don't know why he got it, how he's in the water, why he was in the water with a motor running.
54-year-old, something like
Mhm.
that, was in the water and came in contact with the propeller of the pontoon boat.
Sometimes only the front of the boat gets stuck, and then the back is still running, and that is so darn dangerous. But you can understand if the guy's stuck on the thing and wants to throw it in reverse and get back there, and people get hurt when they slip into a situation that's extremely dangerous and they don't recognize it.
Right.
And so one of the things we talk about is, we tell you to be safe, and that doesn't mean be afraid of anything. It means be sensitive to what might be dangerous.
And whoever's at the helm, it's not illegal to have a beer. It's not illegal to have a glass of wine unless your boat is enclosed and with a cabin. It is illegal in North Carolina to have alcohol on board, liquor on board.
Mhm.
You can have a beer, you can have a glass of wine, even if you're running the boat. But if you're impaired, and that doesn't mean you have to blow a .08. If you're impaired, at the discretion of the wildlife officer, he can arrest you.
Yeah, but I don't want to get past my guy with the man at the helm with somebody in the water.
Yeah.
There is a smart rule that says if anybody is behind you at the helm, your engine goes off.
Yep.
And one of our guys and I were out one day, and we had 2 kayakers in the water. None of them had life jackets on. They were trying to keep their kayaks afloat, and we had to go out and save them because they were being blown out with the tide. But when they got behind me, I turned the motor off while the other Glenn Baxter was in there. He was pulling the guy out of the water. The engine goes off. It doesn't go to neutral.
Nope.
Because that prop can still be turning. So just think of it as a wide open table saw or Cuisinart when somebody's in the water. And that'll be important this weekend, because there'll be people by Bear Island, there'll be people by Goose Creek, and all the little islands around here floating around. And you want to be extremely sensitive to somebody in the water.
Those when you talk about taking them out of gear, that's cool. But the problem is, as you said, those props will spin in the current too. But in addition to that, when you start moving around the helm and you're over there, you got a guy at the back, you lean over. I don't know how many times I have bumped that thing into gear. It happens.
Yep.
You can do it easily.
Yep.
Sure. Just touch them. Some of them with the fly-by-wire stuff is really easy. You blow on them and they just go into gear.
Yep.
Forward or reverse.
Yep.
The other thing is, folks, you guys with pulling tubes, I know you like to get out there and throw your grandbabies off the tubes if you can. I do. I did. Get them airborne because that's what their thrill is. But when you got to go pick them up. Water skis, they're going to come off. On tubes, they're going to get off. When you turn around to go get them, as you approach them, turn your motor off, tell them to swim.
Yep.
to you.
Yep.
You do not go to them.
And the trick of picking people up is you want to know which direction the wind is coming from.
Uh-huh.
And so you go upwind of them and you stop, and the wind will blow your boat down on that person in the water. So it's a real easy way to pick up water and people in the water, or get your hat back if it blew off.
Oh, yeah, when they blow off. How many of you dedicated to the Davy Jones locker? I've dedicated a bunch.
There's a lot of fish wearing hats.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, Fred, let me ask you a question. Going back to the sandbars.
Sure.
Should other boaters try to help somehow another boater get off a sandbar?
They want to be real careful because they are, when you pull, it depends on how you're doing it. If you're pulling on a boat, your rope can break, you can tear the back of the boat out that you're trying to pull off. You can damage your boat trying to get it on. The nicest thing to do, you'll see it around here, is people get out of their boat, the boat's stuck, right?
Right.
Assuming it's sand, they hop out and they walk over and they'll walk to the front of the bow and they'll help push them off.
Yeah.
But you want to be real
Unless
careful.
you really know what you're doing,
Mhm.
you better be an experienced boater before you try to tow somebody or pull them off a sandbar.
That's right. Because those ropes, the nylon rope will stretch about a third of its length.
Uh-huh.
And should it break,
It's like a rubber band.
it's like a slingshot. And if there's a piece of metal at the other end of it, it'll take your head off. So you want to be real cautious about pulling people off a boat. But what most people do is they'll get out of the boat, they'll try to lift it up and push it off the boat. And the way you get out of things are the way you got in. So if you get stuck, don't say, if I just give it a little more, I can get through this.
You're just getting deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah, stuck.
Right.
And be sensitive to the tide, because if you're there 10 minutes trying to get it off and the tide is dropping, you ain't getting
You're
off.
not gonna.
Yeah, just sit back and have
Wait.
a Coke or some waiting a sandwich
Wait
and wait
12
for the next
hours.
6 hours. And
Well, Fred, I wanted to ask, I know this is going to be a big boating weekend for a lot of people with the holiday,
Mhm.
extended weekend, and hopefully the weather will stay nice. But your auxiliary also offers convenient vessel safety checks.
Right.
How does a person go about? I mean, this is a free service, right, that you offer?
right.
So how does a person go about getting in contact with you and getting that vessel checked?
Yes. We have a website called swansboroaux.aux.com, swansborough.aux.com. And one of the options you get to that first page is get a vessel safety check. It has a little form that says what's your name and what's your phone number and email, and somebody will contact you pretty quickly to get you checked out.
Right. I think you had mentioned that earlier, but I just wanted to go back over that because, I mean, and it's not just the vessel check, it's also what you need on that vessel, like life preservers, fire extinguishers, stuff like that.
Right. And for example, one of the things, there's a new law that came out about the fire extinguishers. They have to be less than 12 years old. And so that's a new rule. And so they go over them and say, let's take a look at the bottom of your fire extinguisher. And there's a date on there.
I would flunk.
And if you don't have a date on there, well, sorry, you got to go get it.
Right.
So that's kind of the things we do during the checks.
And so for people that are first-time boat owners, do you offer boating classes?
We have it. Well, it's for not only for first-time boat owners. I was a very experienced boat owner when I came down here and went out into Bogue Inlet, and that didn't turn out well. So I went to the local boater safety class, and that's how I got involved with the auxiliary. So even if you're experienced, I've taught this class for over 12 years, and honest to God, every time I teach it, I go, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. And you're reminded of things, or you learn things, or people will ask you a question, and you go, oh yeah, that's right. And so you learn something from these safety classes. So you don't have to be a new boater. Experienced boaters who are not familiar with this area, it's worth their effort to come.
And I was just looking on your website, you have a Smart Captain page. And on that page, you can click on different various topics for information, like a before you go checklist.
Mhm.
You have that listed there, things that you need to make sure that you have.
float plan.
Well, one of the other things I was going to talk about is suppose you're overdue and you can't get back home and you're stuck on a sandbar,
Who knows?
and you call the Coast Guard,
Mhm.
or somebody calls the Coast Guard and says, "My husband's late. I don't know where he is."
Right.
They're going to ask you to describe the boat.
Yeah, buddy.
Wow.
And being told it's a white boat on the intercoastal
Useless.
That's,
is not a good answer. So
that's
make sure
very
you,
good.
that float plan is a form that you should fill out and leave someplace where somebody who is ashore can find it, know what you're doing. And if you're going up and down the ICW, that's not as important as if you're going
Right.
out to the Charlie Buoy or you're going out to the Hutton and fishing deep
Yeah.
way offshore. So that's where we really need to know if we need to find you where to look.
You need
And
to have some idea where
Right.
they were going that day. My plans are to go, and of course, we all know that our plans change depending upon where the birds are flying when we start offshore,
And you
where
know,
the fishing is.
he
But
brought up a great point too. Like husbands, you might want to share, like maybe write it on a piece of paper, put it on the refrigerator, the boat registration number, the color of the boat, what kind of boat, the footage, and all that kind
that'll
of
save
stuff.
them a lot of time.
You know, and that way, if you know, like my husband wasn't home and I got worried about him, I've got all the information right there when I call the Coast Guard for help.
Yep.
So that's a great suggestion.
And whoever the boaters are, whether it's a husband or wife or
Take a picture.
friend or whoever, if you file a float plan with somebody, when you clear, if you've gone offshore, especially, my rule was with my wife, I failed to do it one time and made her mad. As soon as I clear the inlet,
Mhm.
as soon as I get inside, I'm safe zone. For boats like mine, we consider that pretty safe at that point in time. Call and let them know
Mhm.
I'm here. I've cleared the inlet. I am en route home, and they know exactly where you are. Then they can follow you on the maps if need be.
Yep.
And if you're not home within the prescribed period of time, they'll call you again.
Yeah, the ability now to send text messages and things like that are really make it
Yeah.
easy for you to tell people where you are.
Yeah.
Right, right. I see that you have an app also that you can download on your phone. It's a float plan app.
There's a lot on that, what smart captains use. We have title information. You can spend a lot of time on that page.
Now, if you're a jet skier,
Yep.
Let's give some warnings here. First,
Yeah,
don't
well,
go jump in the wakes of the boats that are bigger than you are.
Don't go across them.
that's right. You jump across a wake, and what you do not see is the boat coming at you from the other direction, and that can be embarrassing. So
It can be deadly.
Yeah.
And if you come around a big boat, for instance, mine's 30 feet. This weighs 10,200 pounds when it's got 300 gallons of gas on board. It's got two blades. They're two props. It's got four blades each. They're turning at 5,800 RPMs. You pass me because you can,
mhm.
and I'm zipping along. I don't have any brakes. How many? You got brakes on your boat?
Not a lot of people do.
If you pass me and you get in front of me, you curve and you doom, and all of a sudden you're in the water 10 yards from the bow of my boat. What do?
You smile as you roll over.
And those two blades, those two props turning with four blades each at 5,800 RPMs, and they cut through steel.
Yeah.
They are stainless steel. They will cut through anything.
People on personal watercrafts need to act the same way motorcycles do with 18-wheeler trucks.
Absolutely.
And just stay away from them.
That's a good way of doing it too.
Fred, if I could, tomorrow's, we all know, July 4th,
Mhm.
and many of the local towns that are near the water, Swansboro, some others have their fireworks at night over the water.
Mhm.
And a lot of boats are out on the water watching and enjoying the fireworks. Is there a mass all of a sudden? You got boats going everywhere trying
Yes.
to get. What's good advice for something like that?
Well, when you're going home, which is when it's exciting, you got to remember that there's an awful lot of crab pots around here
Yeah.
that are not lit.
That's
Yeah.
part of it.
And so that will naturally tell you, oh, I'm not going home fast.
Right.
So as the party breaks up, you want to do what you do all the time in a boat. You want to maintain a safe speed and a really good lookout, especially at night.
With a spotlight.
With a spotlight.
Just don't shine it on other boaters.
Right.
That's right. Be sensitive to where you're pointing at.
Aim it at the water in front of you, and then And if you're really smart during the day when you're going out, hopefully you've got a GPS on board. You will put a track as from where you leave to the point that you're going to be anchored up to watch the fireworks. And then if you follow that exact track going back, if you can make it out there without running over crab pots or people or pilings, you'll get back the same way.
Yeah.
But you have to keep it speed down, speed slow.
And remember that the tide when you're going home will not be going in the same direction probably that you had it when you're going there. So sometimes it's a bit of a challenge to maintain that.
Down New River, leaving Jacksonville, go down river about 8 or 10 miles, and there's a great anchorage there to watch the fireworks aboard Camp Lejeune. You can't hear them, but you can watch them. They're gorgeous in the water. I've been there many times. I'm always, when I go, the last boat to leave the anchorage.
Yeah.
Everybody else is running back to get to the boat ramps. Okay, good for you. I'll wait. I just wait. Last boat is me.
That's right.
A little later on, maybe someone will let us know if you can go down where the air station part of the New River is and see the fireworks from Onslow Pines Park. Is that possible?
Probably.
Yeah.
I can see them. I can't remember. I don't think I can see them from the other anchorage, but yeah, I can see them from Camp Lejeune. And then usually on the way back, I will be able to see the other fireworks here and there. And some of them are not community-oriented fireworks. They're just people with big things that they shoot up in the air. If there's life jackets, we all know about. You kids got to wear them that have under 12, 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the most interesting one is I had a family coming down. It was a mom and dad, as proud as punch, with about an 8-month-old baby. And mom was holding the baby as she was going down the intercoastal. And I said, do you have any idea how angry the Coast Guard and the Marine Police get when they see a baby without a life jacket on? And they have infant life jackets that you better have on, because they are merciless if you're out there with an infant without a life jacket on.
You're going to get the ticket. There's not going to be discussions or anything. You're going to get a ticket.
Yeah. So
and you're going to go to court.
And you're going to, mom's holding the baby and she thinks nothing's going to happen to this baby until that bad wake comes or something in the water caused the boat to lurch, and then you got.
There was a story, and I forgot exactly which marina it was. It was on the intercoastal somewhere. Pulled up to the dock. Smartest parents in the world were these parents aboard this boat. Infant, year old or less. Had the life jacket on, the one with the handle, the approved one that you can reach behind and pick it up. The one that will keep a baby completely head out of the water if they end up in the water.
Right.
Handing the baby up to the other parent on the dock, and the baby slips. Life jacket is still on. In the water, baby goes. It was not a recovery. It was just to pick it up and here we go again. Keep that life jacket on until there's no water around.
Yeah, when we are working on any kind of a dock, we have our life jackets on.
Absolutely, because things happen.
Yep.
So boaters, when you get near boat ramps, you will find warnings out there. No wake zone. That doesn't mean you can run through there at 50 miles an hour because your wake is less than it is at 10 knots. No, there is no wake. It's zero. Zilch, zippo. If you've ever been at a boat ramp, you folks that are out there driving by in their bigger boats, if you've ever tried to launch a boat at a boat ramp and these big boats are coming with big waves coming in, and those waves seem to get bigger the further away from the boats they get because they get in shallower water, just like they do as they're coming on shore. And by the time it gets up there, it'll beat your boat to death, and people trying to get in your boat, trying to launch the boat, trying to pull away from the docks, you can damage the other boats. And again, one more time, you are responsible for any damage or injuries that occur from your wake.
Yeah, that's the big thing, is people launching a boat or retrieving a boat back, and if they get hit with a wake when they're trying to put it on the trailer, that can really cause some damage.
Yes, it does.
So
a lot of damage that way. Any other particular safeguards that we need to be concerned about?
No, the two big ones are keep a good lookout and don't go that fast.
No.
Fast is fun when you're kind of off by yourself, but this is not a good weekend to be going fast, because the ICW, I've been out on the last 15 4th of July and other Memorial Day weekends and things. It will be choppy in the ICW, and that's never good because you'll think it's pretty steady, and then there'll be a strange either trough or a wake, 2 or 3 or 4 wakes will pile together, and you'll bounce into it.
Sit down.
So be careful when you're on the ICW this weekend.
Yeah, please.
Well, Fred, does the auxiliary ever do any safety patrol checks with the actual Coast Guard when they go out to do it?
No, we'll watch them, but we don't have any kind of a law enforcement role.
Right.
We're there to be helpful people on the water. It's the Coast Guard that does the actual safety, that does the boat checks.
But you can actually teach a new boater some boating skills, safety checks, how to read the tides and the weather. Because, I've known new boaters to go out there and not check the weather or the tides and run into trouble. So.
Yeah, we are real big fans of people making sure they know what the tide is doing, because the tidal flow, it's like if you have a big pan of water. If you start it at one end, it starts out a little slow, and then it gets really fast, and then it slows down. And there's about a 6-hour window from going to low to high tide or high to low tide.
Right.
And that water in the middle of the tide is really flowing fast. That's the max time. So if you're going to plan a trip, we encourage especially the new boaters to kind of stay out of the inlet at the middle of the tide. So if the high tide is at 10 o'clock, you don't want to be going through the inlet at 1 o'clock. If you can help it. If you can't, and hopefully it's a nice day, you're fine. But if you get a southwest wind in Bogue Inlet with an outgoing tide, it can be exciting.
If you are a new boater and you're new to the area, or if you've just moved here from Los Angeles and you brought your boat with you, if you plan to play in the ocean, find somebody who has been there before, done that, put them on your boat, and let them show you the ropes, how to navigate individual inlets, because they all change. And the other thing is, if the last time you went out was last year, that inlet has changed.
Yes.
If you went out last week, sometimes that inlet will have changed. Check with the guys who are local, see if there's anything there. If you're going out an inlet, you're concerned about, okay, where are these buoys out here? Where should I go? They may or may not be exactly where you thought they were going to be before. The inlets can shift. There are sandbars out there. I love to go out early morning because I find a big old shrimp boat wants to go out too. A big old 40-footer wants to go out too. I'll get about 100 yards behind them, and I'll see right in their wake. If they make it, I can make it.
Yeah, sometimes real men don't want to ask other real men about things.
That I am not.
Boaters,
I am not a real man.
Boaters are very happy to tell other boaters about stuff.
Absolutely.
So if you're new to the area, or if you're new to boating, it's astounding how friendly other boaters are. You don't have to be.
I'm going to say something about this thing right here. It's a cell phone.
Yep.
A drop of water puts it out of commission.
Can.
Heavy humidity puts it out of commission.
Yeah.
In the water, it doesn't last very long, if at all.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need help and you're out on the ocean or even in the intercoastal or wherever and you're sinking, there's water coming in. This is going to die rapidly. And who you going to call? 911? Yeah, good. They don't have you on their map. It doesn't show up where you are. They don't know where you are. They don't talk boat. 911. They'll try to transfer you to the Coast Guard. Well, why not just pick up the radio that you should have on your boat? And I don't recommend a walkie-talkie. That's a backup.
Yeah, we're real big fans of a marine radio.
Absolutely. I got 2 and a portable. And I've got another one that I can actually take out from inside and put inside in case it goes bad.
Yep.
I've got 2 separate antennas and 2 separate battery systems for the radios. But I'm overkill. But I've been there before.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do pick up a radio to talk to somebody, you call the Coast Guard. Everybody gets quiet. And everybody, marinas, all the people are supposed to be listening on channel 16 at all times. Some do, some don't. But the chances of you getting help over the radio immediately are a whole lot faster than you getting help by dialing 911.
Absolutely.
That's
Yep.
just the bottom line.
Yep.
And the radios work until it's as far down as 3 feet of water for 30 minutes. That's
But
what
if
they're good for.
If you're 3 feet water,
too late, but I'm talking.
It's a little late.
That's what they're rated at. In other words, if it's raining, you're going to be okay to talk.
I just we've talked about the boats moving and flotillas and all these. What about those who are anchored off? They're fishing.
Mm-hmm.
What should a boater do in respect to kind of give respect to those people who are anchored? They're fishing, but you want to get going.
Yeah, the basic rule of the boating is that you stay away from people who are less maneuverable than you are.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's anchored or just sitting there drifting, you stay away from them as you're moving through the water. If it's a congested area, put yourself in that other boater's position and say, what would I want somebody to do for me? And what you do is you slow down and pass them with some
Kayaks and canoes are very vulnerable. Okay?
Yeah.
Very vulnerable.
Jet skis.
Well,
Yeah. They are
I've
the
been
boat-
on a jet ski before when I've had a big boat go by too fast. It can get
should have been
rocky.
on the jet ski.
Why? No, jet ski. There's nothing wrong with the jet ski. Jet skis are fun. I wanted to ask you, you do safety checks for boats. Do you also do them for commercial fishing vessels?
You can get a commercial inspection, but not from our normal vessel safety check guys. We have a couple of guys that have been specially certified to be a commercial inspector. So, but one of the other things we do, we didn't mention it, was we do the kayaks as well.
Yeah.
And we encourage people in their kayak to have a little anchor, because I've had 2 occasions where I'd be going down the ICW and there was a kayak floating free, and which makes us very nervous because it probably used to be somebody in that kayak. And so we pick them up and we say, oh dear, what's going on? And so you figure out where you think they came from. And on both occasions, we came up against the current and tide, and there was somebody on the beach waving their arm saying, oh,
That's mine.
yeah. And what happened was they'll come up on the beach, bring it up on the beach and go off looking for shells or something, and the tide will come in.
Oh.
Or a wake will come by, and they turn around and their boat is going. It's astounding
Yes.
how fast the wind and the tide will take your kayak. So they're little two pound anchors. You put on a light line, and when you bring your kayak ashore, stick that down and make sure that you're going to have a kayak when you get back from whatever you're doing.
The other thing with kayaks, canoes too, but kayaks especially, because that's what we run into around here a lot. Please, they generally are not registered because they don't have motors on them.
Right.
Please put something waterproof with your name, your telephone number, and your address. Attach that somewhere inside that vessel so that when they are found floating free somewhere because a storm got it or whatever, there's some indication. The Coast Guard can say, Mrs. Barrows, do you know where your husband is? We got his boat.
Yeah. So if you duct tape a sandwich bag with that information on the inside of your boat, it'll be there for us to
That's
find
good
it.
advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good advice.
All right. Have you ever done any rescues as part of being the auxiliary? Have you ever been on some rescues?
In the last 15 years, I've been in 4 rescues. So most of the time without injuries. One time was kind of exciting. Had a guy, his engine was out and storm was coming in, and he came in Bogue Inlet, and the wind and the waves were blowing his boat up on the rocks, and he decided he was going to hop out and keep the boat from being blown up on the rocks. And that was a losing proposition. And just by pure chance, one of our guys said, hey, Fred, that's in trouble. I was driving the patrol boat that day. We turned around and we were able to snatch him off. But he would have had a really bad day if that happened. We had the kayakers in the water. We had 2 kayakers with no life jackets on, one of them wearing a rucksack. And
Really?
in Swansboro Harbor on the outgoing tide, and they were trying to keep their swamp kayaks from sinking. And that was that was a rescue.
Sure.
We want to make sure that people wear their life jackets.
Right.
We had a heart attack one time, and we were able to save that guy, and that was kind of a miracle. I think that was a case of God changing his mind, because that guy was dead, but we were able to get him back, and that was a while ago. So yeah, there was a couple of times that had happened. Most of the time it's safety stuff though. We rarely get involved with actual rescues. But if you're on the water long enough, you'll come across some.
Well, thank you for that.
You'll be out
Yeah.
tomorrow?
Yep.
Be safe.
I will.
please.
I'll be going slow and looking
I'm
around.
sure you will be. Keep your radios on.
So when you go out tomorrow, you're going to be going out in a boat that's owned by the auxiliary or in your personal boat?
Personal boat.
Are you going to be looking at, are you going to be identifying yourself?
Yeah, we have the big signboards and flags and stuff like that. We look official and it's fun because it's sort of like when Dad walks in the room.
Yes.
When people see you, you look really official. They're not quite sure who we are or what we do, but there's a big sign that says Coast Guard. They tend to behave a little better, and that's a really
So
good.
you're going to pull up to other boats and
we'll
then,
just drive by.
Oh, you drive. But what if you saw something that was completely
Illegal.
illegal or very
Radio.
dangerous?
Yeah, we try to fix it right then, and if we don't get cooperation, then we all have a radio, and we could talk our friends in the Coast Guard. But that has never happened with me. Every time I've told somebody that's not good because it's really dangerous, they go, "Oh, thank you." They'll be from Raleigh or Goldsboro. This is their third trip down this year, and people around here are very good as far as boating goes. I think they're pretty courteous. I haven't run into a lot of boating under the influence type things, which you see, I think, more on lakes. But around here, I think people appreciate how dangerous the area is, and they kind of keep themselves straight.
Understand. That's
Yep.
Well, thank you for what you do. And
Yes,
it's
thank
like
you very much.
Chris, that new boat that you're going to go out and buy,
I got
You
one
know,
for sale if you want to buy it. I
you
help
can go
out.
right on contact Fred there and take a
course I
boating
would.
class and
Of course, I
safety class and learn the app that you can download on your phone. And there you go.
as soon as I win the lottery.
Yeah, me too.
We'll
Gotta
set you,
buy a ticket
I've always
first.
wanted a boat.
we'll set you right up. Yeah.
Okay.
Brad, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
It's
much for
always
your
good
Best
to
of
time.
the
have
group.
you in.
Carl, I was hoping Carl would be in here this morning too, so we could tell some lies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, for those listening, I have the links on our YouTube and our Facebook page that you
Very
can
good.
click on and go right in. They also have a safety checklist that you can download and use that.
And
all the contact
if they come by to
information.
check your boat, I mean, they're going to run through some of the
Right.
safety stuff. They're going to, whatever recommendations. They're not going to ask you if you got a paddle like one guy did one time years ago for a 30-foot boat. No, I don't have a paddle on my 30-foot boat. Doesn't help. But
All
it
it needs
wasn't
is a
one of your people.
Excellent as always. Thank you.
But they will. All they do is, hey, you might want to get another fire extinguisher. This one's expired or getting ready to expire, or it's below the little green line here.
Yeah.
No, they'll save you
hat.
money
I want his
okay.
hat.
if they will save you a ticket
Mhm.
and probably save your butt at some point in time. So, little things like that, extremely important.
Yeah.
Extremely important.
good guest to have in the day before 4th of July.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Perfect timing.
Yep.
And the weather's going to be so over to do the boating
It's going to be.
tomorrow.
A nice
Yeah,
weather.
we'll be able to do it. You keep your eye on the weather now. Even the weather that I looked at last night changed overnight. I had to modify again this morning.
Yep.
Some of the stuff that I was looking at because this system that has formed up down there off Florida and it's up along the entire coast. We're getting some remnants of things, but nothing yet. We don't know that we'll get anything. Just anything more than we've already been getting, but there is a chance. So forecasts, they're subject to be modified. So what you check today, be sure to check tomorrow morning before you leave, okay? Go to the National Weather Service and just look for the local marine forecast. If you're around this part, that's going to be the forecast from Cable Lookout south to north of Surf City. That's generally the one you want to take a look see at, okay? Westerly winds today, 10 to 15 knots, becoming southwesterly 5 to 10 this afternoon. Seas 3 to 4 feet every 7 seconds. Adjacent sounds and rivers, a moderate chop, diminishing to a light chop this afternoon. A chance of showers and thunderstorms. That's going to be pretty much the case until at least Friday. Tomorrow, northerly winds 5 to 10, easterly 10 to 15 in the afternoon, 3 to 4 footers. Sounds and rivers of light chop again, increasing to a moderate chop in the afternoon. Saturday, easterly winds around 15 knots, fairly steady, 15 knots. Seas 3 to 5, 8 seconds apart, kind of big ground swells, they call them. With the movement and the increased intensity of tropical disturbance number 1, keep an eye on that. If it starts to form up into anything, you need to pay real close attention. And instead of going offshore, stay close to the beach where you can get in real easy, like if you're an ocean guy. Larger swells will be developing. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop.
Today we have a chance of showers and thunderstorms, partly sunny with a high near 89. Calm wind becoming southeast around 5 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tonight a chance of early evening showers and thunderstorms, partly cloudy with a low around 71. Tomorrow a slight chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny with a high near 90. Saturday a chance of showers and thunderstorms, partly sunny with a high near 87. And right now they have Sunday up to a 60% increase a chance of showers and thunderstorms. So like you said, keep a watch on the weather for the first part of next week.
And disturbance number 1, they had earlier this morning, for instance, before the 8 o'clock advisory, they had a 10% chance of it forming up in the next 48 hours. It's now 20. They had a 40% chance last night and then a 50% chance of it forming up over the next 7 days. It's now up to 60%. So there is growing indication that it could become something. Radar still has it. Our rain bands, as you can see here, y'all can't, but I can, is even further away from land. And not, you may get a bumper shower here, but that's going to be it right now. So keep your eyes open and we'll see.
We were talking about water safety, et cetera, and Fred brought up, or you brought up jet skis.
Sure.
This broke yesterday on WITN 7 out of Berkeley, South Carolina. Is a grandmother in South Carolina is facing charges for allegedly telling her granddaughter to swim for help in dangerous waters after they got stranded on their jet skis. According to the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office, 53-year-old Ann Lachelle Sellers is charged with unlawful conduct towards a minor. Deputies were called after the 12-year-old granddaughter was reported missing Tuesday afternoon at the Bushy parking boat landing. The sheriff's office said that Sellers, the grandmother, called 911 to say she was stranded on a jet ski and her granddaughter had attempted to swim to shore for help. They did find the granddaughter. She was taken to a local hospital for cuts on her arms and legs, which she suffered while swimming, according to the deputies. But why would you send a 12-year-old to swim to shore? Because
stay with whatever is floating, period.
Right.
First of all, they can find that easier than they can find your little bobbing head in the water. And if you got something that's floating, if there's an ice chest and your boat's gone down, hold on to it.
They
Just
said
hold on
that
to anything that's floating.
She told the 12-year-old girl to swim for help despite the strong currents,
Dummy.
high winds, and wildlife threats in the area.
Yolo County, California.
Grandmother does that.
Did you hear about this?
No.
Fireworks factory explosion.
Ooh.
Bunch of people without power, a bunch of people missing.
Oh my gosh.
When that thing went up, it was a fireball. Whew. They showed it on television last night in the news. It was a fireball.
Look at the smoke and stuff coming from that thing right there. Good God.
It was unbelievable to see the video
That's
of it.
a lot of power in those fireworks places, y'all.
Lord.
Let me just jump back in the water for a second.
Pardon the pun.
Nope. Yeah. That story with the Disney ship and the young girl. She was 5 years old. She went through a porthole. That's how she fell off the ship. And the person that jumped in to save her was her father.
Right.
And a great story
I
that
didn't know
turned
about
out.
the porthole.
Yeah.
The last thing
I
that I
hadn't
had
heard that.
seen
Yeah.
was it said that she was not being held at the time or observed, or you had somebody
you
there
should not
with
have
her.
to observe them if they're in a room with a porthole in it. But I guess you got to think about that now. Good
Yeah.
God.
So, fortunately,
Kids will be
everybody.
kids.
I'm
Yeah.
saying,
I'm just glad.
I'm saying my own boat.
Sending a 12-year-old to swim in that kind of water.
Got
to
another
go for-
idiot story. I told you I was going to do stories on idiots, right?
Okay. Yep.
A former teacher, ex-teacher at a Michigan charter school. She claimed she had sexual relations with a 16-year-old student and told a colleague about it. Duh. Stupid is as stupid does. 26-year-old Jocelyn San Roman charged with third-degree sexual conduct. The relationship happened back in 2023 when San Roman was a teacher at a Oakside Prep Academy, a charter school in Waterford Township, about 30 miles from Detroit. She's got a problem. Got a married Florida math teacher, 32, accused of classrooms in the classroom, sex with a student during lunchtime. What are we talking? Don't you people read, teachers? How exciting can this be? I mean, this is female teachers. What is the lure?
I'm gonna catch. I'm
Go
probably
ahead,
gonna
you
catch
may as
some heck
well.
for
I
it,
do
but
always.
It just seems that lately the stories all come out that the teachers are of the female persuasion,
Yeah.
and so obviously the student is a male. But at least in
Well,
most cases,
there's
in
a
most
couple
cases.
of occasions.
Okay,
How
in
about
most
the
cases.
teacher and the 5-year-old? And she got impregnated from him.
What?
Yes. I swear that's what the story was. It was
You've been reading the National Enquirer or something.
I've got some information for you that just came in.
Mhm.
Earlier when Tim called about the
Yep.
agricultural department, the whatever.
USDA, yeah.
Okay. This is from a county commissioner. County worked for a year to try and get the USDA into the renovated multipurpose building. I remember that. We were told that the space would not meet their specifications. I remember that. We have worked for almost a year to get an agreement on the current space in the government center. Their lease is up and they have not been willing to even to respond to inquiries from the county.
Okay.
After receiving the eviction notice, they have finally decided to respond. I'm sure we will work with them if they want to work with us.
Okay.
So hopefully
Two
it'll be
sides of
resolved.
stories. We will, put them in the ring and see who stands at the end of the 10 rounds.
Hopefully everything will be. But I remember that issue coming up. What was it, about a year ago?
I don't know.
When
Yeah,
there was
something.
discussion, they didn't want this, they didn't want that, but they wanted that. I don't know. But hopefully they'll get it all worked out.
That scumbucket we were reading about
Which
2.5 years ago says he admits
Yeah.
he killed 4 students in Idaho. He offered to no defense. Not a whole lot he could say, I guess, huh?
We will
Brian
probably
Kohlberger
never know.
pleaded guilty, murdering those 4 University of Idaho students. They approved a plea agreement that keeps him from getting the needle. He's 30 years old.
Mhm.
In exchange, he will serve 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Y'all didn't read into that what I know that means. First, that's the best that could be done given the circumstances. The key element to the sentence is that the 4 life terms will be served consecutively, not concurrently. That means that should, during the course of the first life behind bars sentence, if anything happens and he manages to get out, not escape, he manages some legal maneuverings, he's still got 3 more to serve.
That's right.
3 more. You have to serve them one right after the other. Too often, way too often, you read about judges who will stipulate the sentence will be served concurrently. As has happened, I'm well familiar with one right here in Onslow County, too familiar with it. He was sentenced to 2 life sentences, one for murder, one for first-degree rape. to be served concurrently. Well, at that time, stupidly, a life sentence was judged to be 20 years in North Carolina. So in 20 years, at the ripe old age of 37, this murdering rapist was released back in society. 20 years. That was in 1987 that he was released. 1967, he was convicted. This guy's plea to 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary also assures that the first-degree murders will stand because he's admitted to all, because he committed those crimes during the commission of a felony burglary. That's felony murder. That's a key element, too, to the sentencing and to the convictions. So I'm glad the DA worked on those to make sure at least that occurred. I mean, normally they'd just drop a burglary charge right now. No, this is first-degree burglary. That gave him the means to get inside. He went inside with malice aforethought, premeditation, with a knife, and he did the deed. After he had stalked and staked out the whole place on probably more than one occasion.
He actually, the DA was reading off the description of it, and he went in at 3:00. He killed the first 2, left the sheath on the bed there
By accident.
Right, with his
And then-
DNA on it.
Yeah, then went into, and then just on his way out, killed the other 2 young people, and
Then confronted another one, but she
Yeah.
was spared for
Yes,
whatever reason.
Yes.
it's just the way he the audio went. Did you kill so and so? Yes.
He was very nonchalant.
Yes. Very nonchalant.
when he agreed to being guilty,
Yeah.
when he agreed not to try to appeal any decision. And I was telling Rayford this morning, it was like
It's not
going
gonna be up
into
to
a
him.
restaurant and saying, would you like fries with that burger? Yes.
Yes.
That's how
That's it came across.
cold it was.
Anti-death penalty advocates, those people out there who just do not favor the death penalty, period, they say that spending the rest of his life thinking about his heinous crimes is punishment enough. No, it's not. No, it's not. First of all, he's a cold-blooded, low-life, murdering scumbucket who does not care about life. Did he show any remorse yesterday? No, he did not. Do you think he's ever going to show any remorse? Probably when Bubba gets hold of him in prison.
He's
That'll be
gonna
about
get-
the only
he's-
occasion.
He's going to get shanked in prison.
I don't know about that because,
They're gonna do
you
that.
got to understand the people that he's going to be associating with on death row, in prison for life. They're just as pile of crap as he is.
Yeah.
It's a horrendous story. It could have gone either way ending. I feel for all the family. You had 2 families that were dead set against him getting life imprisonment without the death penalty. You had 1 family that chose not to say anything, and then you had the 4th family that came right out and said, we are satisfied.
You got one daddy,
and-
and you're missing what he said yesterday.
That's the one I just mentioned.
Did you say
Yeah.
what he said?
No, I didn't say
What he said was when he was asked about it, he says, yeah, all he's getting is daycare.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You've got 2 of the families. And I think the thing that upset me the most about everything was the fact that when this plea deal agreement was discussed between the defense and the prosecution, the families weren't allowed to be a part of that discussion.
Yep.
I'm with you.
And that upsets me for the families. But you have 2 different takes on it. Some of the families are okay, it's done, it's over with. And you have some of the family that wanted to see him
Well,
get the guillotine. So,
well, I'd be all right. I'd start on
You
his
know.
toes and work my way up.
I'm not part of that family. I wasn't one that lost a loved one. So had that had happened to me, I may have opinions that nobody's going to be able to change. Sitting back and being an observer, I see both sides of this. But if it was
Have you
my
ever
family
known
member,
anybody close, not like husband or wife or sister or brother. Have you ever known anybody who's been murdered? Did you ever know anybody who's
I
been
know
murdered?
I have personally family members too.
I never had a family member. I know of people that have been murdered. Nobody that was really exceptionally close to me.
When I say two, they're related to brothers of my
Mhm.
of families of my brother.
One of my classmates was murdered the year after I graduated from high school.
Right.
She was a year behind me, and she was murdered by that same aforementioned scumbucket who got 20 years, got out in 20 years. She's a high school student. I knew the grandmother of a ex-state trooper who set fire to his grandmother's house, or tried to set fire, but he murdered her and murdered her daughter,
What's
this
the name?
guy's mother,
In Swansboro, somewhere.
in the
Yeah.
Swansboro Bear
Right.
Creek area. So I didn't know who it was when I went down there. I had to process that scene until I got there, and I knew her, the grandmother. I'd worked around her because had been working prior to that years before with my dad, and they were building the Coastal Motel on 17 South Benton Air Station
Yeah.
at the time, and I was there to assist with trying to find a leak in the swimming pool. On the water, trying to find a leak. But I knew her, Ms. Ledbetter. I think it was Ledbetter. But anyway, her hands were tied behind her back. She had a plastic bag over her head, tied tightly around it, neck. She suffocated. She was face down on the bed when I got there. The mother had a crutches, sitting in a recliner. She had a broken leg. He shot her in the face, in the head. And he came up for parole not long ago. He's an ex-highway patrolman. He was stealing from the highway patrol fund that he was in charge of, so they fired him. He had brought 2 5-gallon cans of gasoline with him. He was going to disguise this whole thing as a fire. But things went bad, and he had to do what he did. No, I have a very fond feeling for the death penalty. And no, there's not one of you can change it.
Well, I mean, that's your right. I mean, that's your opinion too.
That's it.
I look at both sides. I mean, there's some cases that, yeah, they need to put a bullet in that person's head, and there's other cases I'm like, I don't know.
This guy that killed his mother and grandmother is up for parole again. Okay,
He should not be up for
I
parole.
know that, but he's up. He's a possibility he could walk the
Right,
streets. That
right.
other guy, he did walk the streets in 20 years.
Mhm. Well, that's our court system. That's our legal system. It's all screwed up.
That's a good way to put it.
Injustice.
Yeah.
Injustice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm through now. I think maybe. We will be back here tomorrow. We'll try not to discuss anything too bad except for the bill.
And Hakeem Jeffries has been on the Florida House talking since 5:00 this morning. And I just looked, and
God
he's
almighty, I would divorce
still
her.
talking.
Would you?
He just will not quit.
Kareem, if I was his wife, I'd say, "See ya."
He's afraid to
Yeah.
yield the floor.
Oh yeah,
Or yield my time.
And I'm sitting there reading the comments from people watching, and it's not been nice.
Then quit
It's
watching
just
it.
really bad.
He's playing to the cameras.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they have a certain amount of time to debate. So generally what they do is they'll have someone who's in charge, like Hakeem. He's like a minority, whatever. And he'll say, okay, I'm going to yield 1 minute of my time to this representative.
Yeah.
And then they come back and I'm going to yield another minute or 5 minutes to this. That's how they control it, both sides. He's taking up the whole. He just.
Goodbye, doofus.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you in the morning. We'll see what's going to be happening, and get ready to celebrate the 4th.
Yeah.
And please keep your go see the fireworks on display that are done by
Yes.
professionals. Keep your fingers intact.
I'm probably just look out my front
Stay
door.
away from the doggies. Don't go taking your doggies to any fireworks displays. And if your neighbors, be considerate of your other neighbors who have
Right.
dogs. You do not know. And
PTSD, folks, please.
the veterans who are out there. Those been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
Right.
Think about it. You just don't want to be making lots of noises, okay?
Yep.
Do them a favor. All right? Okay, we'll see you in the morning.
Have a great day.
Yeah, you're live and local. Real talk. Are you coming in tomorrow, Chris?
Am I coming in tomorrow?
Yes.
That's up to you.
Yes.
Good. We'll also have the rootin' tootin' Mr.
Yeah.
Donkey Man himself. Jimmy Rootin' Tootin' will be in the house tomorrow. So we have a good group here tomorrow. Hopefully Kelly's, but you got a word that she's got
She
a
is
little bit worse than it was.
advanced. Yeah.
Kelly, I am so sorry.
I am too.
I would suggest you blame it on Robin because I'm sure he had something to do with it.
So
Right?
she went from
No, blame it on the holiday. It seems like every time a holiday comes around and you get a little extra time to enjoy yourself,
I was thinking
something
about.
happens.
I was thinking about her last night. I almost called her, but I said, "Nah, it's late." But she was,
hang in there.
golly, hang in there.
Hang in there.
It
It'll
will get better.
It will get better.
We will see you in the morning, live and local, real talk, where we're always awake, never woke. Goodbye.
Bye.